one thing you have to understand about blindness and deafness really is that it's a spectrum. And that was the very first thing I realized once I was going blind. I was like, oh, there's levels to this. You just ain't blind. Like, cause I didn't know anything about blindness before I went blind. I just assumed, I mean, there was some things I heard where like you see white or you just see black, you don't see anything, you wear sunglasses. That's all I assumed. I didn't know anything else about it. Honestly, it was never a real concern of mine. I've never, you see some blind people in television and things like that, but I didn't know anyone that's blind, and I certainly wasn't blind, so it wasn't on my mind to have to just know about blindness. I wasn't looking it up or anything like that because it did not relate to me or anyone that I knew at all. I'm still the only blind person I know, and I'm still the only deaf person I know. Well, my little sister, she is losing, I think, her hearing. She's getting there, so she's understanding. It's like, oh, somebody that can relate to what I'm going through now. I don't wish that on her. I do feel sad that she's going through that, but it was nice to have someone to talk to about it that related to what hearing loss is really like, because there's not a lot of people that can relate to that in my life, really. So, and like I said, everything is like it was levels to it, and I think I went through every single level until I reached the final form of blindness. And maybe this ain't my final. Maybe there's one more step to the very final form that I have to go through, because I can still get a little bit of light coming in. I can still kind of tell when there's a little light and stuff. So maybe there's one more step to my final form. You fool. This is not even my final form. But so there's level to it, and in this, some people don't understand that. And not to talk anything about my mom, but she was one of those people, well, everyone that I know really, but one thing she liked to say is see harder, look harder. She was so irritated with me being blind. It's not even funny, especially like in the beginning, because I could see some and then I couldn't see other, like I can't see, but I can still see a little bit. I can maneuver. I look like I can see. I look like I was getting along just fine. Really, she didn't understand the guessing work that was going into what I was doing, or that it was muscle memory, or I can remember like the size of shape, like this is my house, so obviously I know how to get around. Or sometimes I can go, like I was still able to go on walks with like my sister-in-law or something and still get around a little bit. It's just, it was a little difficult, blurry, didn't know the curve. Like it was a gradual decline. And so in some days also it got a little bit clearer, but then it just go even worse. Like it get a little clearer, I'm like, oh, and then and I'm like, oh my gosh. But anyway, so it was like, so I want to give an example of, I was in the kitchen and I made myself some meat. I think I made myself some refried beans. I made myself a bean cheese burrito. And so in the pot, there was a green pot with like the inside is black. And I washed it out, or so I thought I washed it out, so-called washed it out, and I put it away. And because, one thing about what I was experiencing going blind is things look as if you can see. So sometimes it's real subtle that you think you can see, even though you can't. Like, so how do I explain that? So I'm explaining with this pot. So in the pot is black. So I'm looking, and sometimes I have a little spectrum, if I remember correctly from my, memory. It was a little specky, like sparkly, but black, whatever. That was the main color. So it was dark. Okay, so she goes in the kitchen. She sees the pot, and she's irritated. She's fed up with our shit. And she's like, you didn't clean this right. Instead of just telling me you didn't clean it, just let me know so I can clean it better. You know how moms be. They get irritated, and they gotta complain and all that stuff. So I'm just like, oh, okay. So she's like, you gotta learn how to be blind. You gotta learn how to be blind people that clean, and you gotta learn how to, you gotta know, you just look harder. She's putting the pot in my face, and I'm looking at her brown blob of a face with the little whites looking at me. And then I look into that black hole of a pot, and I look back at her, and I'm like, I don't see anything. I just see a black space. It's just black. Look harder. I was like, what? Look harder. You gotta look harder. You gotta look harder. Look through my blindness. I don't understand. I can't see it. I didn't feel it because the pot was wet, and the refried beans was a little in there, and it was like smooth. Pot was smooth, the refried beans were smooth, and everything was wet. So I guess I didn't feel it. I could have did better maybe, but now I know, do a little better. make sure I really get in there. But she did not have, and then, or like something fall on the floor and I didn't know I dropped something on the floor or something because our floor was light. Or even if the floor is like, it'll look like one color. So it'll look like either one bright color, one dark color. I'm not going to see any individual things. And so she was like, you can't see that on the floor. I'm like, I can't see, I didn't know, I can't see anything on the floor. It's like, you can't see that? No, I can't. You know, it was her adjustment period too, trying to adjust to me being able to not see and understand what that is actually like. It's not just, like I said, it's like the same with hearing. People just assume you either hear it all or you hear nothing. And so they'll just assume you're just ignoring them or you have selective hearing. And so it became the same for if you're blind and you can see or make out some things, but you really can't see, but they see you getting along just fine. It's like a trickery to them. It's like they're relying on what they see and what it seems like. And what it seems like to them is you can get along just fine. You should be able to see that. You've been able to see it all your life, and now you can't see it. No, I can't. I'm not lying. That's what it felt like sometimes. Like they were like, I was lying. Like, why would I just suddenly decide to start? Oh, I can't see it because I don't want to get up my mess. That's just ridiculous. Okay, that's crazy. Because I didn't want to clean the pot. I wanted to clean the pot dirty just because I want to go over there and get my hands wet with the soap and just all that for nothing. I don't understand. I don't understand. So that's what that's like.